friends, this is Jenny, and I'm going to share a couple cards I created today for Tonic Studios using the new Tonic craft kit number 20 called Woodland Walk. I'm also actually going to use the previous 3-card craft kits before this, 17, 18, and 19, and then this is kit 20. What I'm going to do is use some of the smaller pieces from this die set and the little Dragonfly stamp and coordinating dies that go with it, and these little square dies that are part of the set that goes with this fun little 3-dimensional box that is part of the craft kit. I literally just got this kit in the mail, so I haven't had a chance to play with it, so I'm going to actually spend a little bit of time kind of trying some different things out and trying to decide which direction this card is going to go into. So I'm not going to play with that dimensional piece yet. And I know that looks really bright, but that's the holographic cardstock in the background, and it is like a unicorn. So anyway, what I'm going to do is pull several pieces from the other kits, mostly from the Craft Kit 18, and then, like I said, this new one that's 20. And then I've got a couple other things from the kit number 19 and one teeny tiny thing from kit 17. And I think it's great to be able to pull all these pieces together from different kits and use them in a combination that maybe wasn't necessarily intended. I'm going to create 2 cards. This is the Woodland Walk paper pad that is included in the kit, and it's one of the new part of this new spring trend that's coming out in April. It's got some cute little 6x6 pattern papers that are double-sided, perfect for card backgrounds and things. I'm going to use that little scripty word die that says "with love" and the outline for it. And I'm going to use this shimmer powder that is new. It's called Lilac Waterfall. And I'm also going to use a couple embossing powders. One of the new ones called Crushed Mulberry, that's a gorgeous purple color. And then some of these new gems. These are called amethyst squares, and they come in 3 different sizes. They're really cool, like little faceted squares, but they're flat on the back, so they adhere well. So I'm going to use those. And I did not use these other ones that are kind of like, they just look like diamonds. I mean, they're really cool, but they're flat on the back, so they are perfect for, I mean, really. So they're perfect for cards and shaker cards. They would be good for too. That's some sparkle dust I did not use. And I got out some alcohol markers I thought I might use, and this new fun spray bottle I got. So let's get started. I trimmed down a bunch of this card because I did go through a lot of sort of playing with different potential ways I wanted to do these dragonflies. I kind of had an idea in my head of what the card might look like, and then I completely went in a different direction. So right now I'm just going to trim down a lot of the little pieces of paper that I'm going to use my Sidekick to die cut. But before I do that, I'm going to use this shimmer powder and some spray, some water, and I'm just going to use some of this is the Nuvo watercolor cardstock. It comes in a little pad that's A2 size, and it is so cool. If you've never used shimmer powder, it's just exactly like what it says. And this one is especially pretty because it's got much more defined colors of the pink and like a hot pink and blue and the purple, and it's just perfect for what I wanted this card for it to look like. And I'm going to set that aside to dry for a while. I'm going to use my this little dragonfly stamp, and I'm going to do it on several different kinds of cardstock. I'm going to use some plain white cardstock here. I used my Clearmark Nuvo pad ink, and I'm going to I used that crushed mulberry embossing powder. I'm going to heat it up there, and then I'm going to do the same thing using the classic silver. It's the fine embossing powder onto vellum, and I also do the crushed mulberry onto the vellum as well. And I'm not going to show all that. I actually did end up stamping it in black ink onto plain white cardstock and or onto Neenah Solar White, and I colored it with some of the alcohol markers. But I did not end up using that, so I kind of skipped through that. Like I said, this was the first time I got to use it, so it was kind of fun to play, and I still wasn't quite sure how I wanted to use both of the it's got the little outline and then the inset part for the Dragonfly. So I'm going to test it out a little bit here, and I love having my Sidekick on my desk. It's perfect for little teeny dies like this. So I run these through and line up the little tiny Dragonfly bit and then the outline in that hologram. That was part of the 18 Craft Kit 18, and it's the mirror card called Hollow Waves, so it's that holographic one. So I'm going to end up using that as the outline piece, and then the vellum heat embossed piece in the crushed mulberry. So I'm going to glue, I'm going to use my smooth precision pen to adhere the little dragonflies to that holographic card. And I'm still waiting for that piece to kind of dry up, the piece I used the shimmer powder on. The other dragonflies I end up using are these vellum heat embossed silver ones, and I use it on some of the glitter cardstock that is called Berry Fizz. It's kind of that same sort of purpley color that matches the rest of everything, which I thought it turned out really well. That's it there. And it's really bright and sparkly, and so it's kind of nice to have it in just a little teeny smaller bits that's a little bit subtle, but it makes it really kind of special. Like I said, I had planned to do this in a completely different way. I had planned to line up these squares and cut 3 down the middle of the card, and to put the dragonflies in each one of the little open squares and offset it. I had a really hard time convincing myself not to make a shaker out of this because I really wanted to, but I didn't do it. So I used that piece that I used the shimmer powder on and cut that with this script word die that is very delicate and thin. It says with love, and then that's the inside piece, and then I cut the outer border piece in vellum. And I'm going to actually cut it out again using the glitter cardstock that you can see it there. So that's what I tried to do, and I could not get the squares to line up straight, and I got really frustrated, and I walked away, and I came back later and decided to go in a different direction. So I used the this die from, I believe it's from Avery Elle, and it's called I think it's called Wonky Stitched Frame die, the Wonky Stitched Frame dies, and it's got that larger one there that you see, the green, and then there's a smaller one. And I thought that would be kind of neat. It kind of looked like the stitch lines that you see as like the little sort of trail for bees and dragonflies and things. So I'm going to use that bigger piece and then the smaller piece that I used with the that shimmer powder piece there, and pop that up on some foam. And that green piece is gorgeous. It's from the new Craft Kit number 20. It's a pearlescent kind of color, and it's called Fresh Mint, and it is really a beautiful minty green. I'm going to use my Deluxe adhesive here to glue a piece of foam onto the back of the that piece of the purple watercolored piece, and then I'm going to adhere the Fresh Mint piece of paper onto my card base. Okay, so once I get that done, and I'm going to go ahead and set that aside while I glue down the piece of glitter cardstock that is in the same little script die, and I offset it just a teeny bit from the other piece that I cut out from that light lilac shimmer powder piece. And most of those ends get cut off, so I'm going to use some double-sided adhesive here because I thought it really needed to needed to make sure I got it, you know, on there good and well. And I have a really hard time trying to pull it off because I have no nails right now. And with the magic of editing, you don't have to see that. Well, maybe you do. So I am going to get that stuck on there eventually, and then I'm going to start to try to pull it all together. I had thought I might do something in a circle with the little dragonflies and use some thread, and I had this color that matched really well with that sort of fresh mint color, and I just thought that might end up being too fuzzy, which is where I end up using the little amethyst gems instead. So I had this idea that I would use those as the little trail pieces of the sort of behind each of the dragonflies, and there are 3 sizes to each of the bottle of gems, and so I used the smallest one because I like to make things as hard as possible, and I am going to glue those on to the card after I get the dragonflies in place. So what I'm going to do is to go ahead and adhere my dragonflies, and I'm going to use these some Deluxe adhesive, or maybe it's a smooth precision pen, in the middle, and then I'm going to pop up the wings with a glue, a little 3-dimensional glue dot on each side of the wings, and I'm just seeing how that will look there after I get it all done together. I am almost done with this bottle of Deluxe adhesive, which is how much I use it, and I really should start storing it face side down so that I can get every bit of it out. Alright, so I'm going to kind of glue those like they're kind of going around in a partial circle, and then I will glue down the sentiment there at the bottom with a little teeny bit of the smooth precision pen behind just the letter parts, the phrase word phrase, so that you can't see it through the vellum. It's amazing how much that holographic stuff picks up everything around it, the green and the purple, and that obviously it's reflecting the light from above. But so I'm going to pop that down, and most of the ends and the sides get trimmed off, and I use a teeny tiny little piece of a dimensional adhesive underneath the sides there, just to keep it from kind of flopping down. And I mean, I had to cut it teeny tiny so that you wouldn't be able to see it underneath the vellum there. Sorry about it being off camera. But I'm going to then I'm going to use some of the new Dream Drops to actually glue down the gems with, because I thought that if I didn't like the way it went, then I could just use the Dream Drops as the little trail. These are ones that were in the Craft Kit 18. It's a color that I don't know if it's going to be available in the store. I think it was maybe a kit exclusive. It's called Supernova, and it's sort of a mix between the light purple and the pink that are the new Dream Drops that are available. So it's just a really sort of pale lavender, kind of iridescent, and they're gorgeous. And this took way too much time. Like I said, I like to make things as hard as possible, but I got it pulled together. Now you're going to see the next card that I created using basically kind of the leftover pieces that I did not use on this one, which was some more of that blended shimmer powder cardstock and the other dragonflies, and a little piece of the that Follow Your Heart stamp that is from card kit number 19. And anyway, these are the close-ups. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you got a good look at how to put some of these other kits together, and I would love it if you have any feedback or comments. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks so much for stopping by, and we will see you soon. Bye.